Late last year, I did a series of posts on Facebook talking about the tech stacks you need based on the type of business that you have. So I did one for coaches and consultants, one for speakers, one for podcasters, one for spiritual healing and wellness businesses. So I did a bunch of different ones just based on whatever your business is, a little bit about what the products you're going to deliver, and I created these tech stacks. And then, of course, I got the questions of, how do I use, what do I use together? Do I need all these things and all of that? So today's video, I want to go deeper into those tech stacks that I recommended and talk about how you make these all work together. If you haven't been here before, I'm Akila Thompkins-Robinson of Girl Get Visible, and I am here to help you get the tech solutions that you need to enable your marketing and business all over wherever you are marketing and doing business, and mostly all your online stuff and your online tools that you are going to use. So you see, we're going to do a little whiteboard session here today. I got a few things, a few of the tools that I recommended over here, and then we are going to put them in to where they would fit in your tech stack. So before we get started with that, this one is specifically for coaches and consultants. Make sure you follow and check the channel because I will be doing one for each of the ones that I did at the end of last year, and any other businesses if you got a business model and you want to know a good tech stack for it, put it in the comments. I will make sure that we do a video on that tech stack. So today we're talking to coaches and consultants, primarily folks who are either doing one-on-one, small group coaching, and I'll talk a little bit about digital products. And the reason why I mention that is because it's important to know what your product is and how you want to deliver it before getting into finding the right tech for it, because someone who just does one-on-one needs slightly different than someone who is going to do a membership or do some type of digital products or something like that. So first of all, knowing what you want to do, knowing if you want to do project-based work versus one-on-one type things, VIP days, all those type of things are going to make a difference for how you set up your tech stack. Second thing you're going to consider for every tech stack, no matter what business model you are going to do, you need these 4 areas of your tech stack. So you need marketing tools. So you need those for creating the marketing content and for distributing the marketing content. So you're going to need 2 types of marketing tools. You're going to need sales tools. This is generally like your sales page, your cart checkout. If you've got e-commerce, this is your WooCommerce or whatever, Shopify if you're using a shopping website. But you need a sales process. You need something that's going to take the person from beginning to end of, I found out about you, I'm ready to find out about this offer, I'm ready to put my credit card information in the system, and at the end, I need to at least get a receipt, right? And so that is your sales system, right? So we're going to talk about the tools that you can use in sales. Then you need your delivery, right? So once you get that receipt, it is not in there. It actually is just the beginning of the delivery process. How are you actually going to deliver this to make sure that the person who signs up for this, the customer or client, gets exactly what they wanted? And so that's where your delivery system comes in. So this looks like if you are doing a membership, this is your portal where you deliver your content in your membership. If you're doing one-on-one, this is how you're getting that person onto a call, how you're sending out those call notes, how you're tracking progress, all of those type of things. That is all part of your delivery system. And then last, but definitely not least at all, it actually is a little part of all of these, is your back end and tracking tools and systems. A lot of people forget this and don't have anything really in place. And that's why businesses falling apart sometimes and things just seem all over the place because they're, either got things just on their computer or maybe some things in Google Drive, but they don't really have a good back end system. And this gets even worse when you get to bringing in a team. Even if it's just one assistant, you need a backend where all the files are going to live, all the work pieces are going to live, all the tasks, what we call them, we do in my company, or task, we do a lot of project-based things, right? So all the tasks are going to live. You need some type of tool that's going to bring this together and help you to keep things organized, but also, like I said, if you bring in a team, keep things organized as well. Some people even have a little bit of hybrid where they'll also have like a client portal where the client can even see some of the things that are happening on the back end and track where the project is. And so one of the tools we're going to talk about does that exactly for you. So Now that we know, we need to know what we're going to sell or how we want to sell it, right? So if it's one-on-one or group or whatever it is, we need to know our four areas and make sure that we have tools in each of these areas. If you're not using a tool in these areas, that's where the problems come in, right? That's where the things kind of start to waver and things don't do as well because you don't have a tool that works in one of these areas. So let's dive into, for my coaches and consultants, what you should be using for each of these areas. So marketing is probably the one that people spend the most time on, although it's not supposed to be the biggest part of your business. A lot of, especially online entrepreneurs, newer entrepreneurs, spend more time marketing than anything because they're just trying to get people in, right? And I get it, right? So we need tools that are going to make that easy. We need tools that are going to help us to streamline so you have a nice, consistent look, and tools that hopefully you can hand over to somebody on the team for them to work with later on. So for those, you look for first, I look for creation tools. How are you creating the content? I have here Canva, which is an easy one that we're doing, and actually we're using Canva for our whiteboard here today. Opus Clips, which is one that I use to break up a lot of my videos. I do a lot of long form videos and break them into shorts. And so Opus Clips is the hands down the best tool for that and the way that they do it. Sometimes if I'm doing AI videos, this is where something like a Hypernatural. So if you've been on the channel, you know I use Hypernatural and Syllabi. Those are two tools that I use for making videos that are not me, right? So these are my AI videos, and all of it comes together on the Metricool. Can't forget about that. Metrical, you see, there's a lot of tech tools, and you don't need them all. Like, if you just use one creation tool, that's really all you need. Figure out your style, one tool for creation, and that's what you're going to do. Metrical is for the scheduling. Some people will use the schedulers like in Facebook, or Meta has for Facebook and IG, or using schedule in TikTok. You can actually schedule things, even scheduling here on YouTube. Some people use the onboard scheduler. I prefer to use one tool that helps me schedule across all the things. And Metricool will let you do 50 free posts for up to one brand. So if you just got one brand and it's just you right now, Metricool, you can use it virtually almost free for them for every month, like it's 50 per month. So it's a really good tool to give it a try. And then it gets more and more robust. Like, you can have multiple brands in there. You, of course, can do a lot more than 50. I even recently found out that it even has a link tree page. So it could replace your link tree if you use Metricool, right? And then I bring it all together and keep everything organized in our Content Hub, right? So, we have our Content Hub Notion template, and that is what we use to keep track of, these are my ideas. This is what the end content looks like. These are the analysis and analytics at the end. All of that is done right here in the Content Hub. So you see, our marketing is pretty stacked, right? We're almost running out of tools on the side because of our marketing, right? The next one is going to be, how are you going to sell this thing? So if you are a coach or a consultant, you're most likely going to need a landing page. And so I'm going to bring Sweet Dash on over here, a landing page or website, something that's going to talk to you about what you're doing. Now, Sweet Dash does not do full websites. I'm going to say that once again. Sweet Dash does not do full websites. I still think you need one. I would actually put that more in the marketing at this point. But for just the sales part, so we're just talking about the sales piece, we at least need something that's going to allow us to show them what they're going to be buying. So it gives them details about it. And that's where they do these landing pages, which are nice. Gives them the ability to check out and either book an appointment, which you can do in Sweet Dash. You can set up appointment scheduling. They can book an appointment and pay for that appointment, or they can go whatever they're going to do. However you decide, if you want to have like a set time, you can just say this is the product and everybody come to this like workshop on whatever day. All of that you can set up in Sweet Dash, which is one of the reasons why I absolutely love Sweet Dash, and why I'm recommending it to you guys. It's a really good all-in-one tool that you can do a lot of things. If Sweet Dash is a little too much, you're not really ready for all of that, my second recommendation for scheduling is Tidy Cow. This is another one that you can do appointments. You can do one-on-one scheduling. You can charge for those one-on-one appointments. You can do multiples, so they can buy like 6 appointments at a time. So this is good if you're someone like either fitness or personal trainer, something like that, where you do one-on-one appointments, but people tend to buy more appointments than one at a time. And you could do small groups. I can do small, like 10, 15, 20. I could sell small group programs. This is not going to give people always the link depends on how you're doing this. But if you've got like small groups and then you want them to have like a customer, client, or course portal, that you would have to go back to Sweet Dash for. TidyCal is just going to give you the scheduling of the event, but sometimes, a lot of times, that is absolutely all you need. So that's TidyCal. So then let's talk about delivery. Delivery, and I'm just going to duplicate this right here because guess what? Delivery can live in Sweet Dash too. Sweet Dash is a really good place for, again, putting those small group things in there. They have a really a nice LMS tool, not full blown like some of the bigger tools, but most people don't need that, right? But you can create your standalone little course areas and products. I do these like 4-week workshops and weekend workshops. I'll talk to you guys about the Build It weekends that will be coming up this spring. But I do these workshops where it'll be a small group. We're together for a few days, but at the end of each day, they get the recordings, they get worksheets, they get all of that. I set that up in a little LMS like in Sweet Dash where people can just come in. Sweet Dash also has a really nice customer portal that for my one-on-one folks or my project-based work, we can set up their whole project plan and they can come in and see where things are going, how things are happening. There's messaging involved. So Sweet Dash is a really nice delivery system. The other thing, other tool I would use for this is School. So School is great, and I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger because I feel like it's a little small school, but really it's a big school. School is great if you have communities and you have courses, and courses or communities you want to upgrade or want them to buy into additional coursework. School is amazing for that because it allows them all to live in one place. School has pretty much virtually replaced Facebook groups in many of the tech stacks that I work on because there, it was a nice place to have your people in community and chat, but it wasn't a lot of being able to do that next step of selling. It wasn't your space. So every time Facebook decided something different, you had to go with the whim of that. So School has really virtually replaced that and given us those classrooms, which is a nice add for that. Now the back end, guess what we're going to do for back end again? We are going to duplicate and put Sweet Dash right on our back end tracking as well, because the way their project system is works, and it's an all-in-one business tool, so there's a lot of things, but the way their project system works is that you can set up all your project tasks and assign them to yourself, assign them to your clients, assign them to your team, whoever needs to, and you can do all that tracking of the work that's happening. You can also, like I mentioned, have that customer portal that you do for delivery is also going to help you tracking their progress, see all the notes, see all the replays, see all the things that they would need for that particular service that you're delivering. So this is it. This is the very, very simplistic tech stack that I would use. At most, the only thing I would add to this that's not on this little thing is something like a Synfox or an email software, maybe that would go into my marketing and sales, where I would put a Synfox or email or something like that. Sweet Dash does have some ability to send emails. I have not fully tested it, so I'm not gonna say it's gonna replace those yet. But if you just have Sweet Dash, you've got a lot and you can do a lot of good things there. So that's probably the only other thing I would put in this tech stack. But this is a tech stack I recommend if you are a coach or consultant, specifically if you're doing one-on-one or small group coaching sessions. This tech stack is going to work for you. So like I said, stay here, follow. We're going to be doing tech stacks for each of the different business types that we are going to be talking about. So if this is my coaches and consultants, we've got one coming for podcasters, speakers, digital products, spiritual and wellness businesses, all of them. We're going to talk about the different tech stacks that you need. And if I don't cover one or you want to see one specifically, drop it in the comments and I will make sure that you get your tech stack. So I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you soon.